Have you ever cried at a funeral and all of a sudden somebody cracked a joke or told a funny story about the deceased and then everybody all of a sudden started laughing? How is that possible? That in the middle of a tragic funeral or a sad funeral, somebody can do a 180 and change from crying to laughing? Well, in this episode, we're going to talk about how we can use our bodies to change our emotions and feelings. Coming up. Hello, I'm Fernando Sosa, and if you're watching Mindset of Steel, in this live show, our purpose is to help you crush your limiting beliefs, punch fear in the face, and take massive action in your personal life and business by focusing on the 80% psychology and 20% strategies. If this is your first time here watching the live show, or if you're watching on the replay, welcome and thanks for being here. Consider subscribing and clicking on the notification icon if you're watching on YouTube. This show airs on Facebook and YouTube. And if you want an extra special perk, sign up to our mailing list by going to mindsetofsteel.com. We send out emails and text messages alerts when the show goes live, and also when we go live on an unscheduled time with maybe a special guest that we're having in the future. So take a look there. Now I'm fired up. Today's episode, we're going to talk about basically the show's slogan, what is 80% psychology and 20% strategies. Now, where does that come from? So basically, this concept came from an event that I recently attended by Tony Robbins, where over 30,000 people attended. And this is one of my key takeaways that I reflected on, and I wanted to share with you today. Now, there's a concept called an emotional triad, where basically we have these patterns that we follow, and it consists of three things. The first one being your physiology, the second one being your focus, and the third one being your language. Now, when those three patterns are in balance, we reach what's called a peak state. And that's the state where we are on fire, where we are at our peak. We are just, that's the best way to describe it, that we are at our best. And so let me get into these three patterns. So physiology has everything to do with the body. Now, the state of the body, how the body responds, how you treat your body, So let me ask you a question. If I were to ask you to describe a person that you're not seeing, but let's say there's a person behind a wall, and I'm telling you that person is depressed or not feeling well, not feeling sad. How would you describe the physical appearance of that person? If I were to ask you that. Generally speaking, you would probably say, well, that person might have his head down. That person maybe has a frown. Maybe he has his shoulder slouching like this. Maybe he's speaking low. Those are different things that are typical of somebody that's feeling down, right? On the flip side, if I were to ask you to describe a person that's happy, happy, you would probably say, well, the person is smiling, the person is loud or talking loud, standing tall, right? Those are all different physical characteristics or descriptions of a person that might be happy. What does that have to do with the feelings? Think about that. Well, it has everything to do with the feelings. And that's where physiology comes into play. So let's say, for example, the person that is sad, the body responds in that way that we described, and the person that's happy responds differently. So what that means is that you can actually change the way you feel by changing certain things in your body, right? So like, for example, if you were to smile, let's say you wanted to smile, just smile. Nobody's around you, right? You just smile. You smile. That activity, that physical movement and that smile, it's very hard to be angry when you're like smiling, right? You feel something. Don't you feel something when you smile, right? Don't you feel something when you stand tall? What's called a posture. You stand tall, you raise your head, and maybe you smile. You have a feeling, right? What's happening is that in the brain, in an area in the brain, the pituitary gland, there's an area in the brain that triggers hormones. And these hormones, different types of positive hormones, make you feel in a certain way. Like there's endorphins, dopamine, serotonin. These are feel-good hormones that get released. And those hormones make you feel in a certain way. So when you do these certain activities, your body responds by releasing these hormones and make you feel in a certain way. So this is very interesting to understand, because just like that, you're able to control your feelings to a certain degree by changing your physiology. So that's one key thing that we learned. Now, let me ask you, it's very similar, right? It's very similar, like if you're exercising, right? If you're exercising, or people that exercise, one of the benefits of it is that exercise makes you feel good. It gives you energy. What's happening is that when you're exercising, you're releasing these hormones, and you get this rush. And that's why some people are like exercise junkies or gym junkies, or even running. I'm running for the past several months, and I know that feeling, that rush, right? That you get and you want to do more and more. That's the dopamine. That's a hormone that you're getting, that you're releasing in your body, and it makes you want to do more and more. So all of these hormones, they make you feel good. They give you more clarity, more mental focus. And on the flip side, if you're lacking these hormones, then you're going to feel the opposite effects. So that's a key thing with physiology. So in terms of focus, that's the other patterns, is focus and beliefs. Now, with focus and beliefs, it has everything to do with the things that you focus on. Are you focusing on the things that you don't want, or are you focusing on things that you want? Do you focus on the positive or the negative? Do you make lemonades out of lemons? Do you see the glass half full or half empty? It all depends on how you look at things. So that's what focus is. How things that you want to focus on things that you want and are working towards. So together with the physiology and your focus, that changes the way you feel. So you basically want to change your lenses. Like if you have a lens, the way you see the world, that is what we're talking about in terms of focus. The third pattern has to do with language or meaning. So basically, you want to shift away from negative language, because what you say also affects your feelings. What you say also affects your feelings in a positive and negative. So if you say something positive to yourself, it gives you a positive effect. And on the flip side, it gives you a negative effect. So those three basic patterns, if you combine them and work on them, that's where you get to what's called your peak state. And this is something that it's not easy to do, but it's very powerful. If you just the physiology alone is mind blowing to me. One of the experience that I had at this event was that it wasn't just an event where there's a speaker and somebody's talking to you, lecturing you, PowerPoints here and there. No. There was a lot of activity. There was a lot of physical activity involved, because he believes that physiology is key in the way you respond to different things. So like I said, that the motto of this live show is 80% psychology, 20% strategy, is because it doesn't matter if you know 100% how to do something. Like if you know the strategy to do something, either in business or life, a particular strategy, if you don't have the right mindset, it's not going to be enough. You're going to be struggling. So that makes a difference between somebody that is knowledgeable of the strategy but has a poor mindset versus somebody that knows the same strategy and has a better mindset. The strategies are typically already done. It's not, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. The strategies are the strategies, but the difference is your mind, yourself. So you have to work on your mind, and then the strategies come. You can implement the strategies. A lot of focus is put on the how to do something at the beginning, and we might not have the right mindset. That's happened to me. Not anymore. I'm working a lot on my mindset, and anything that I'm working on. Tons of strategies, yes, but I have to have the right mindset. So my question for you is, which one of these power postures are you going to try first? Remember the power postures. Standing up straight, right? You can try that. Stand up straight, like, like Superman or Wonder Woman, like they stand up like this, chest high and looking up straight. That's a power posture. Try that. Another one, smiling, just smiling, a big smile. Another one, imagine yourself walking inside, opening the doors at let's say a supermarket. You open up and you walk in and you stand up tall, like, I'm here. It's all in your head, right? But you're doing it. That activity makes you feel good. You should try it. Try one. These are called power postures. There's many other ones. If you want to comment below, I'd like to know what would you like? Have you tried that? Have you experienced the feelings based on, let's say, smiling? What do you feel when you smile? What do you feel when you smile? So, all right. So that's my question. So if you're jumping in late, we basically covered the 80% psychology and 20% strategy, where that comes from. And I went into the triad: physiology, focus, and language. So go ahead and watch the replay so you can see what you missed at the beginning. And thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. If don't forget to subscribe and share it. If you find it valuable, share it with a friend. Follow me on social media. And for a sneak peek of what we're doing in the next episode, we're going to talk about a strategy or technique that we can all use when to prevent blowups at home, blowups at work. I need that a lot. I work constantly working on. I have little kids and a teenager, and the blowups are a thing. And I'm always working on how to avoid the blowups. I have something very interesting to talk about in the next episode coming up next week. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and share with a friend. Thank you very much.